Oh, he says, I'm not bothered. I'm gonna... Has he got a juice, Michael?
Benjamin was diagnosed with genetic conditions 12 months ago. For Gemma and Michael, when they think back to the diagnosis, they still feel hurt.
It's done it again.
Speak our language, they say you're savage, yeah. Oh no, we don't give up anymore.
Charlie lives with a genetic disorder. His mother, Bec,
but I don't want to take that away from him and him not experience it.
worries about how he will be integrated into society. For parents who raise children with genetic conditions, the biggest concern is how their children will fit into society.
They're upstairs in the sensory room.
Currently, Benjamin's communication is physical, not verbal. The family went through an uncertain time during his diagnosis.
Benjamin had been tested for 100 genes, basically which are known to cause some of Benjamin's problems. If you go back 12 months ago, we were told we might not know how long he's got to live until he's not alive anymore, basically. They just said we might not ever know.
No, it's not that.
That is, yeah, probably the worst time. Nothing was wrong. You go to the hospital and suddenly there's loads of doctors around saying different stuff. You know, it could be this, it could be that. It could, if it's this, he's got 5 years to live, and you're like, really? Wow, thanks for that. And it just really knocks you back, doesn't it?
Yeah.
And then you're waiting months and months to see if it is that, and it won't.
How many you want? Calm down.
But to come 12 months and have all the answers and know everything now that we do, it's so much more reassuring because we know now what's coming for him, do you know what I mean? But he's a lot better in communicating now. He used to be very frustrated when, you know, like he's trying to tell you something. He went from speaking between 15 and 20 words to nothing because he had a massive regression. And he knew, you could tell he knew what he wanted to say, but he couldn't say it. So he'd get really frustrated and he'd be like, ah, you know, and you knew that he wanted to tell you, but he couldn't. And that was hard because you want to help him, but you don't know what he wants, if you know what I mean. So we've worked on other ways of him communicating with us now, like the sign language, and we do other things with him.
Yeah, we do, don't we? Yeah.
During the long waiting time, Gemma found a group called the Genetic Warriors of Wigan, where she met more parents in similar situations and found support.
Which we have because of Abigail in a wheelchair.
I met Gemma through the genetics group. She'd messaged about what support she could receive. So we started with a home visit with Gemma to find out what her needs were, what Benjamin's needs were, and then started from there to support her.
Bec recognised the social constraints on parents raising children with genetic disorders.
I went through a lot of things with Charlie, and it was a very difficult time. And I set the group up to support parents in situations like I was in, so they didn't have to go through that on their own, and they had that support from other parents as well.
Charlie is in a different situation. As a teenager, he faces new challenges and changes will come to him, both good and bad. I was wondering what colour he would use to represent his life.
I would use blue and a mix of red. Moments of my life can be calm, and some, like when Alice climbs on me, can be stressful.
Gemma needs to take Benjamin to many medical appointments every week.
And mostly we have at least one a week, but this week we've had 4. So next week we've got 3. So we have
This is to take tests to know more about Benjamin's disorder and make a care plan.
It's a lot easier than the old 3.1.
I went with Gemma to the Children's Hospital in Manchester. She felt relaxed because Benjamin slept the whole time on the bus. While Benjamin sleeps, Gemma doesn't have to worry about explaining his condition to strangers.
Benjamin has 22q 11.21 microduplication syndrome. We don't know what's caused that yet, they're still waiting to find out.
For parents caring for children with genetic disorders, the judgment they experience from other people can be isolating, increasing their concern around these medical treatments.
People have stopped us and asked us, what's the matter with him? He's screaming at nothing random. But if you have a kid that, say if Benjamin was 7 or 8 and he knew and someone was asking a question like that, that would upset him.
Charlie was tube fed as a baby and going up to when he was 9. And when he was younger, he had an NG tube. And we had one experience where a member of public had told me that it was horrible and he didn't want to see that, which in turn made me not want to feed him in public for a long time after that because of that experience.
3D scan.
That's Benjamin 3D scan. It was 60. I was 16 weeks.
Though their children's futures are uncertain, these parents hope that their children will live independent lives.
Our goal with him now is to give him the skills basically to lead a normal life, isn't it?
And to deal with negativity.
Yeah, and just to be able to be the same as anybody else.
Yeah.
So he can go out and he can get a job and he can get an education if he wants to, and do whatever he wants to do, live his own life independently. That's what we want.
In Charlie's future, I'd like him to be as independent as he possibly could be. I know he wants to be a gardener.
These two are still growing and I need to get rid of that because it's dying.
But I want him to be able to have that opportunity to build up his own business.
These parents will never give up on finding medical support for their children, but their concerns will always remain whether society will be accepting of their conditions and whether people will treat these children with the kindness that they demonstrate.